Okay, we are going to go ahead and I'm going to show you a quick tutorial on making your house in SketchUp. The first thing you want to do is go to Google Drive and open or create a folder. So if you have Google Drive on your web desk, you can do that, but an easier way is to click the plus, click on the 9 little dots that'll show up right over here. That's your Google Apps, and just go to Google Drive. Or you can type in drive.google.com. If you're signed into your web desk, you're already signed in and you should be fine. So now what I'd like you to do is you're going to go to New, and I'd like you to create a folder for your art. You can call it SketchUp, you can just call it Art, whatever you'd like to do. I'd probably just do Art so you can remember. New. Oh, here's my folder. I'm going to highlight this and just say Art or Digital Art or whatever you'd like to call it. Go ahead and press Create. And then you'll notice that you have an art folder right down here. This is the one I just added. I already had one there. Okay, so I'm going to go over to PISD, and I've added my PISD Sketchup already. If you have not, you're going to click plus, type in SKE for SketchUp. It's Ketchup with an S. Okay, it's going to be the PISD SketchUp. Do not just do the other one here. You need to do the one that's actually through PISD because it logs you in. I already have it, so I'm not going to add it, but if you do want to add an app, you know that you click on Add. PISD Sketchup. Now when you first log in, you're going to have to sign in with Google. You'll click on your name and type in your password. I should already be signed in with Google since I sign in with Google on my web desk. The first box that comes up will say Start Modeling. You can click Start Modeling there, or you can click on Create, and then just do feet and inches because that's what we use here. It takes a second to load, especially if you're in the meet. You may not want to do this while you're in the meet. Just leave the meet and then come back if it's art time. I'm going to pause this video and then continue once it opens. Okay, so I'm signing in with Google. I haven't signed in on my Chromebook in a while. Sign in with Google. Your name's going to pop up. If you're on your home PC, this is probably going to go a lot faster than on a Chromebook, but it still works. So today we're creating a house. It's going to be a 3-dimensional house. We're going to be using a rectangle tool to make the base of the house, and then we're going to bring that up to make it a 3-dimensional picture. So you can click Start Modeling here. If this doesn't pop up, you would go to Create New right up there. So I'm going to go to Start Modeling. The very first thing I want to do is give it a title. So this is going to be my house. Now what it's going to do is it's connecting to your Google Drive, and it's going to ask what folder. We just added a folder, so we're going to select that folder once your Google Drive opens. If you don't do this, your progress will not be saved. So I'm going to put it in my art folder. I'm going to press select. And then once you've done that, you can see up at the top it says saving, and now you see your title. Every time you do something, every few minutes or whatever, you might want to go and press save because it doesn't automatically save. Okay, so I'm going to click on this guy. We'll call him Bob, and then do backspace, or you can use the eraser tool right over here and just hold down your mouse and drag right across, and it'll erase them. We're going to start with our shape tool. Now your shape tool is kind of close to the center here. It's a rectangle. And I'm using the top one. That's a rectangle. Other ones are curved, circles, rotating, and letters. So I'm actually using my rectangle tool. Everything on here is click and release. So if I come down here to the ground and just click one time and release, then I can slide my mouse around to make my rectangle or base of my house. I don't want to do it too big because then you're not going to be able to see all the brick designs and things like that. Just keep it kind of smaller. You can always zoom in with 2 fingers on your trackpad to zoom in and zoom out to make it look bigger or smaller. Now the next thing I'm going to do, now that I have the base of my house, that's like the concrete on the ground, right under the shape tool is the push-pull tool. If you put your mouse there, it says push-pull. Make sure you're selecting the top one. This kind of changes up the way it looks. And then that one's something more advanced that I'm not going to go into right now. So push-pull looks like this, rectangle with a little red arrow. When I go over to my box, you can see it has little blue dots on it. And when I click and slide up, it brings up the walls of my house. Okay, so now I'm ready to do a roof. I'm going to look at this from a little bit more of a top view. So I'm going to click on this bottom one, which is basically your move. It has zoom in. If you ever lose your house, this one zoom extends. It'll bring it right back to the center. But I'm going to zoom out so I can see the top of that roof. Orbit's pretty cool because if you click and then slide, you have to click and hold it down, and then slide it around, you can kind of see the top of that box. Now I'm going to use my straight line pencil tool. You have straight and squiggle here. I'm going to find the midpoint. Once it turns cyan, you know it's the midpoint. It doesn't matter if you start on the opposite side or the one closest to you. Click it one time and release. Drag it towards you, click and release. Now, it looks like a box shape. I'm going to go over here and right underneath my push-pull. I never use this one. That's outer shell. This one is your move tool. Now, if I try push-pull, it's only going to do the shapes. Okay, so I need to use the move tool, which is this top one. This one's rotate and this one's scale. I'm going to use that top one for move. I'm going to click on the line. It turns blue. And then just slide my finger up. If the dotted line is black, you know that it's not really centered in the middle. Once it turns blue, just click it, and then you know that you have your roof. I can orbit around if I'd like and look at it from the front view. So now I'm ready to draw some doors and windows. I'm just going to do a couple just to show you, and you can do it on all sides if you'd like. I'm going to use my rectangle tool, and I'm going to click the height of where the top of the door is and bring it down to the bottom. And now I have a door. I can draw a window. Now, if I want this same exact window I can just go over here and draw another window, or I can use something called Select tool. This one's Select. If you leave your mouse there, it says Select. I can come over here and right above it and click, hold down my mouse and drag, and it highlights all that and makes it blue. Control C, Control V is to copy and paste, just like you would do if you were in a Google Doc, and then you can place it wherever you'd like. Okay, now if I wanted to be able to put something different up here than down here when I color it, I'm going to go ahead and use my pencil tool to draw a line here. Now you don't have to do this, this is just optional. Now I'm ready to start coloring my house. Remember, you can always go and add more, and if you want to add the grass down on the bottom, just go over and take a rectangle, click somewhere, drag, make sure it's blue. If it's this way, it's standing up like a fence, which you could make a fence. So I'm going to make this the grass down on the ground. You're only required to do the house, but it just makes it look more interesting when you have other things. I might even go and add a garage, or I might go and put a rectangle on the ground for the sidewalk. These are just some other options if you want to go and add some more. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. And if it's not in the center and you want to move it over, you can take that hand tool and just grab it, hold down your mouse, and move it wherever you'd like. Now I'm ready to start adding some color. So my paint bucket right here, so I have Select, Erase, Paint. I've gone over a lot of these. Paint bucket tool is going to only open up a few colors. That's the home screen. Now if you look next to the home is a search. When you click on search, you have many options. You have wood, you have landscaping, you have grass, you have plants. Look, I have some brick right here. Siding, which is like the stuff that's made out of wood. So if I want to put some siding there and some brick over here, that's how you would color your house. And then if I go down, I can look at roofing materials. Let's say I want to do this sort of roof right up here and right up here. And remember, orbit around so that you can go and work on the other parts of your house. Now, my select tool, I'm going to go ahead and select this window right here. You can either backspace and just so that you can see inside of the house, or what's a window made out of. You might want to add glass. So let me undo that delete right there. I'm going to go down and it's in ABC order. So glass, I'm going to add some glass on there. Then I can see inside my house. I also have wood if you want to add some wood to your door, or you can put whatever you'd like. Now, if you're wanting to add a pool, I'll show you how to add a pool. So these are just options that you can do. When you're done with your house, you're going to be taking a screenshot. If you do not remember how to do a screenshot, it's the CTRL button, the control, hold it down, and click on the key above the number 6 that looks like a rectangle with 2 lines. That takes a picture of your whole screen, and I'll show you in a second how I'm going to add it to my portfolio. So I'm actually going to open that back up, and I'm going to do some landscaping. Maybe I want to do some grass down on the ground. Now let's say I want to do a pool. I can do that same rectangle shape right over here. Push pull it into the ground. Probably should have done that before I colored it grassy color, but that's okay. And then go down to water and fill your pool. Now, a lot of people have been having a lot of fun at school with the 3D warehouse. So let me show you where that one is. So there's my pool, a house. These are all extra. All I'm asking you to do is to do a house. But you can see I've done it in 5 minutes. Okay, so right over here, the third one down is called Components. Components opens up. If you don't see it, click on this one right here. And this is your 3D warehouse. So let's say I want to bring in a tree. I like that tree. I think I'll bring it in. So once you slide over here, you'll see your tree show up. Sometimes it goes underneath the ground, so just put it wherever you'd like it. Now, if it's too big, you can see it has a blue box around it. Over here, it's on move right now. This is the one I told you about called Scale. Now, Scale is going to allow you to click the corner and drag. I'm holding down my mouse and drag, and then I can go back to move it wherever I'd like. Remember, this is optional. If you want a water slide, if you want a dog or a cat or a Ferrari or Lamborghini, these are all things. And as soon as let me put it here. I'm going to press escape, and then my blue box goes away. Now, I'm ready to take my screenshot. Now, if you don't want to see the XY axis and the vertical axis, which is this one here, the Z axis, all you have to do is go over here to the eyeglasses, turn off your axes, and this is how I get rid of this box right here. There's a back arrow. Now I'm ready to take a screenshot. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, get it the way I want it to with my orbit tool. As soon as I have a pretty good view and I have it kind of close to the center of the screen, I'm ready to take my screenshot. You can turn it so you see a little bit more of the three-dimensional side. I didn't really add anything here, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot. So hold down Control and the Windows switcher key will take a picture of your entire screen. If you want a partial screenshot, Control, Shift, key above the number 6, Windows switcher. If you're on a regular computer, you'll have to search for your snipping tool. Now, I'm going to put my mouse right up here, and I'm going to click and hold, and then drag until I get my picture. As soon as you do this, you'll see a little box. Click on Copy to Clipboard. Then you can open up your portfolio. I already have one down here. I'm going to grab whichever one I find. So I'm just going to grab this second grade portfolio example. And it's going to open up your portfolio. And just like in Google Docs where you Control-C, Control-V to copy and paste, that's how you're going to put it on your slide. So you're just going to find the slide that you like to put it on. I'm going to pause till this loads. Okay, now that my portfolio has loaded, I'm going to go down to the technology unit that starts in slide 33. Slide 34, you were supposed to draw a self-portrait. Slide 35, you were supposed to do Weave Silk or Adobe Spark or Auto Draw. I think there was another option, I don't remember. And then on 37 is where you add your house. So it tells you right here, click on Copy to Clipboard, which we did. And now we're going to do Control V to paste our house. So you can see I added a lot on the one that I was working on. But if I just click on the slide and do Control V, it's going to paste what you copied to clipboard. So copy to clipboard, Control V, super simple. Okay, so I'm going to click on this and actually backspace to delete it because I have my house already on here. I hope this helps you with making your house, and I hope you have a great spring break.